Alright, so I just made a video for part one of like the super easiest way to do Back in Black. So if you didn't watch that, make sure you watch that first. This is the second part and you need to have the first part down. So usually what I do is that first part, like the very first day of lesson, like with people who actually don't want to do classical, they just want to do popular music, that's a great song. So if you're totally new, hopefully that will be helpful. And then here is part two. So part one, real quick, make sure you got it. It went like this. Like, don't even do this video unless you got part one. The first part went. So that was part one. There's part one, but the whole riff goes like this. So part one, then part two. So that looks real hard, but I can usually get people their second day of guitar to learn it. So let's do it real quick. So ready? Here's part two. You're gonna start out like part one. So E string, mute, D, 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 just like part one. Mute, A, and then what you do is you put your pinky on 7. So this is the 7th fret, so you can just count up. You actually should have dots. My guitar does not have dots on the front, which kind of sucks, but most guitars have a dot on 3, some don't. Then they have a dot on 5 and 7, so there's my 7, see that dot? So I put my pinky on that 7th fret. So 7, and make sure you use your pinky. The fingers here are the key to learn how to do it fast. So 7 with your pinky, first finger on 4, pinky on 7 again, first finger on 5 now, pinky on 7, so pinky's just going to keep going on 7, middle finger on 6, then middle finger on 7, you slide, and then you hit the open string. So clearly the part one part, I mean, the beginning of this was the same as part one pretty much, so this is the hard part. So let's just do this a few times. So 7, 4, 7, 5, 7, 6, 7 with middle finger slide, and 0. So pinky, first finger on 4, pinky on 7, first finger on 5, pinky on 7, middle finger on 6, middle finger on 7, slide, open string. So get real slow. Just like that. 7, 4, 7, 5, 7, 6, 7, slide, 0. So if you're having problems with this, you could do like a video response. I can see what you're doing, or like post a video and send me the link, or just like leave a comment what's hard, and maybe I'll be able to tell what's hard about this. But make sure you do it with these fingers. Like a lot of my students want to go. But see how much work that is? Like, that's a lot of work to make this happen. So you got to really force yourself to just put your fingers like this. Some people actually play this song a different way, but it's just too hard. This is a good way to learn how to do it. So here we go. I'm going to play it super slow, like 3 times, and then I'll do it fast 3 times. Hopefully you got it. And one piece of advice I would give is don't try to do like part 1 and then part 2 together. Just focus on part 1 and then focus on this part 2. And then we do one more lesson and put them together. But I find if I kind of span that out, if you're a beginner, if you learn stuff in pieces and then put them together, you'll learn a lot faster. So there's a temptation to want to do too much at once, but it's better just to break it up. So here we go. So hit the E string, mute, D string 3 times, mute, A string 3 times, then pinky on 7, first finger on 4, pinky on 7, first finger on 5, pinky on 7, middle finger on 6, middle finger on 7, slide to 0. Let me do it 2 more times without talking and see if you can get it. just part 2. Just like that. I'll do it a little faster, like the real speed. 2 more times. Oops. So, I try not to overwhelm my students. If you're a beginner, there's just a ton of information in this little bit, but I'll show you what I'm doing to go faster. So first I'll just do it and see if you can tell. There's 2 things I'm doing with this hand. This hand is actually, if you follow along with the fingers, you're actually doing it right. But watch this hand. This is the key to going faster. So, whoops. So there's 2 things I'm doing different than beginners. Beginners will tend to go like this. They'll go. So notice their hand is floating instead of here. So after a while, this is when your hand's floating out here and isn't anchored. When you're picking, it's really disorienting. So you want to take your hand, put it right there on the bridge. Not like that, but like you take this part of your hand and you just put it on this peg. It takes some practice to get used to this, but if you force your hand here, eventually you'll learn it. Like I tell my students who know how to type, it's kind of like forcing your fingers to stay on the home row keys. And then you start to know where the other keys are on the keyboard. Here, you put your hand here and anchor it, and then you'll start to know where the strings are. You don't have to look at them. And the other thing I'm doing is down up. Like as often as possible, instead of all down picks, I'll do down up because it's faster. Like instead of having to go, if you pick a string, like let's say the bottom string, you try to just do down picks, you'll notice it starts to get tiring, whereas down up, it might be harder at first, but you can do this a lot faster. If somebody's the round part of the pick, I mean, you can do this all day, and it takes less energy, and it's faster. So versus all down picks. I mean, I can't even do what I just did. So that's down up. So if you watch my hand carefully here, it's anchored, and it's doing down up. So. Oops. So that's more advanced, but I'll get my students to start doing it. Just down up on the open strings, and it's not that bad. And the anchoring is like you take this part like right there of your hand, and I usually just have them, you rest it on top of this peg. Later, as you get better, sometimes you'll have to learn how to do like fancier stuff like this to play on the top strings. But for this, since we're using the bass strings, just do it like that. Now, I've been playing for 10 years, so this is really easy what I'm doing right now, but don't get intimidated by this. It's just good to see it. So if it's too hard, don't even worry about what I just showed you. Just do down strums, whatever you need. The most important thing from this lesson is to learn how to do this. So if anyone has any problems with this, just let me know and I will do a follow-up lesson. Or if you post a video response, like if you think you got it, but it doesn't quite sound right, if you post a video response or post a video on your channel and just send me the link, like in a message or something, then I can see what's going on and try to do another video to help. All right, thanks, bye.